Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me?
Can hear you
Hello.
great.
Can you hear me
Hello.
great? Great, great. Let me see. Let me try. Check again.
Yeah, I can hear you guys too. Charlie, good to see you. Daniel, excellent to have you on.
Thank you for hosting us.
Absolutely.
Is it great to have you all? Actually, it's great for me to have you all. Yeah. Yeah. Matthew, long time no see. And Daniel
That's
too.
right. That's right, Charlie. It's been like 5 months now, I think, since
Yeah.
what was that mining disrupt?
Yes. Can you
Yeah.
use the earphones? Or if you like something like a microphone?
Do you have an echo for me?
I don't have an echo, but yeah, if you have something like that would be good. But I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think I can hear you good.
I'll
Good,
try to
good,
speak
good.
up a little bit. I don't have headphones, unfortunately,
Yeah.
but I'll try to speak up a little bit.
Oh,
I don't have the
because
cool studio mic like you, Charlie.
Yeah, we're not the pro YouTubers yet. You're the master and we're learning, you know?
to be honest, I'm also a layman. This is only the third live stream that I ever did. Yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah.
Matthew always speaks like he has a camera in his body, like he speaks like very clearly. Yeah.
have to
And
have to
then
present myself and the organization well, Charlie. I'm sure you know all about that.
yeah. How's everything?
Oh man, dude, everything is so good, Charlie. We have so much good news, so many things to talk about during this podcast. I was really excited when I got the invitation from Daniel that this was going on. I was like, Daniel, we got Charlie Lynn. This is awesome.
Yeah. I was probably more excited because I was looking for content, and the first bunch of people came to me was, and you were one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. We're so excited to do this with you, Charlie Lynn. You're such a great personality. It's always great to see you in person. And, I suggested, I think a couple months back that we should do something like this. We should have done it at Mining Disrupts, like you said, but this is awesome too that we can join on this live platform, share. We're, different sides of the world right now. I saw you just got back on a trip to Hong Kong. How did that go?
Oh yeah, the trip to Hong Kong was smooth. I was there just for just to set up my new bank account. Yeah, and that was quite smooth. Thank you for asking
Oh,
that.
good.
It's very close to me. I'm in Futian district of Shenzhen, so it's really
Mm,
close to Hong Kong. And I just went to the nearest bank in Hong Kong. Yeah,
mm. Oh, very nice.
I can
Daniel,
hear
And so
the
how do
echo
you, how
from
do
you.
you,
Daniel,
oh, sure.
your mic's echoing again. Yeah, when you're not talking, you're
Yeah.
gonna have to hit the mute button. Unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, Charlie, we're gearing up. We haven't officially announced it yet, but we're gearing up to start running our own podcast every week. And it might be this Friday, it might be next Friday. We haven't totally decided yet, but we're really
Mm.
excited. We'll have to have you on at some point. I can't wait to get it going. But yeah, Daniel and I are gonna have to maybe link up with you and talk about where to get these, fancy microphones, fancy headsets to make sure we can put on a good production.
Yes. What is your channel going to be? Is it gonna be a podcast or a YouTube channel?
We want to hit all the platforms. So we're
That's
really
good.
interested in streaming on X. So that's our Twitter X account at Kadena Mining Club. And then we'll do it on YouTube as well at Kadena
Mm.
Mining Club. I think we'll be looking at other platforms. We mentioned Twitch. I'd really love to get over to Rumble. I'd really love to get over.
Oh my God, you're a pro.
I think Rumble is more in line with our industry, Charlie. A little more freedom, a
Rumble.
little more openness.
I will check it out.
You haven't heard of Rumble, Charlie? Maybe I don't know.
I
It's
heard
popular
about
here in
that.
the U.S. It's an alternative
Okay.
to YouTube. Yeah.
So what, no censorship over there or what's happening in Rumble?
Oh, you asked me about the censorship?
No.
No, it's asking Matthew about Rumble. What makes it more in line? Is it less self-censored, or what's going on with Rumble?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's that's kind of their angle. It's kind of like it's YouTube, but a little more open to everybody. +1 from Rumble from H Ryan. So from Hiran. I never pronounced that one right.
Rumble.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I heard about it. Yeah,
you have.
I will look it
So
up.
Charlie, what do you got for us tonight? We got a lot of fun things to talk about.
Oh, we should ask you. Yeah, because you are the main guest. Yeah, and we're gonna introduce everything about you. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. In the beginning of this video, yeah, I would like to speak to the viewers. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, and it's great to have Matthew and Daniel with the Kadena Mining Club. They are obviously going to. They're probably already having a really big operation in Paraguay, right? Yeah. So, disclaimer: I haven't worked with the Kadena Mining Club yet. Yeah. So everything in this video is not promotion. It's not financial advice. So if you want to work with Daniel, you definitely have to do your due diligence. You do your homework. Yeah, that's it. But we are great friends. I would love to if you guys can work with them. Yeah, and if you guys work very well, it's all the value that we added to this community. Yeah. So it's great to have you, Matthew and Daniel. Yeah. So today we want to talk about everything that you are interested in, or viewers are interested in. We want to talk about Bitcoin and mining. To be specific, I want to talk a little bit about the S21, and of course, we want to talk about what Kadena Mining Club is up to, about your original project, about your new project, about what you're gonna do, and maybe also about your podcast that you're gonna do later. Like, oh, what do you want to talk about? Yeah, and your operation in Paraguay, that's gonna be very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot to talk about here, Charlie. So to kind of build off of that, yeah, I'd love to thank everybody from Charlie's community, from the mining community, from the Kadena Mining Club community for coming out to this one. And thanks again, Charlie, for hosting this. This is a real pleasure. I think the best thing to start out with, I could give a little bit of background about myself. I'll let Daniel give a little bit of background about himself. And then I'd really, we have to start with where it all began to talk about the original Kadena Mining Club project. But before we can really jump into that, I think it's important that everybody understands Kadena first. So I think we can talk about that as well. So for me, my name is Matthew Durnia, born in New Jersey, currently living in Richmond, Virginia. My real mining journey began. I had a really bad day at work. It was just, doing old corporate job in the supply chain business, really bad day at work. It's like I need to find something else to do. And I was up real late, I think up till 2 a.m, trying to find other ways to make extra money. And I came across this mining thing. I think it was on YouTube. It's like I can run my old gaming computer with a little 1650 graphics card. I can run this thing and I can make money doing this. Hell yeah, let's figure it out. So couple hours playing around with nice hash, got it running. I was making like maybe $1, maybe $1.50 a day. Who really knows after the price of electricity? But we were making money, and it was like that first penny. It's like, I don't know. I don't care how much you mine, but that first penny, there's nothing like that first penny. When you make that first penny mining, it's really, really cool. So quickly scaled up from there. I had like 40 GPUs, 4 ASICs running in my apartment. Had to turn off like the microwave, or excuse me, if I wanted to use the microwave, I had to turn the miners off. I was using so much power. And I got to this point where I need to get out of my apartment, right? This is an unsustainable way of living, when you got fans and heat, and it's a total mess. So along that journey, I realized there were a lot of people like me, but maybe couldn't afford to go out and buy your own farm or buy 100 miners yourself, and kind of landed on this awesome thing that we built with Kadena Mining Club, which we'll talk a little bit about in a few moments. But I'd love to throw it over to Daniel there real quick after he's done taking a sip. Caught you at the wrong time there, Daniel.
No, it's always a little trick. Take a sip. If you're not quite sure what to say yet, avoid the ums and ahs.
Well, that makes you look very cool.
Yeah. Now I'm ready to talk. No, absolutely, kind of a similar, little bit of a similar story. I stumbled across mining, actually helping one of my children build a gaming computer a few Christmases back. And we run into some trouble sourcing a graphics card. They're very expensive, very hard to find. And it got me really curious where all the graphics cards were going. And I found out that these miners were scooping them up and mining some sweet Ethereum with them. So I looked a little bit more into it and jumped in pretty quickly. I found a 3080 pre-built computer a couple of hours from where I lived that was, I thought, a reasonable price. Drove and got it, came back, plugged it in, and I didn't really even have a monitor, so I had to hook it up to the family TV in the living room. And I guess together as a family, we saw Bitcoin coming in. It was Bitcoin because, like Matthew, I started off with NiceHash. So it was mining Ethereum, but I was getting paid in Bitcoin. And I do remember thinking it probably wouldn't work, and I wasn't sure if I did it right. And then I think I saw 1 or 2 pennies in Bitcoin, and it was just one of the most exciting things that ever happened to me. It was kind of neat, actually, that it was up on the family TV. The whole family was pretty excited. They kind of had a sense of what I was doing, and go down the rabbit hole quick from there. Like Matthew, grew lots of GPUs, filled up the electricity capability of the house, and then it's from there. It's like, what next? I sold a lot of graphics cards too. I would mine with some of them. If I could sell them, I would sell some as well. Sell them, buy more, do different things, experiment with whatever the new crypto of the day was coming on. And one of my customers was Matthew. I met Matthew in a grocery store parking lot, and we just got talking and realized that it's better if we work together. You can only do so much alone, Charlie. It's difficult when you're by yourself. You can do so much more together. Yeah, strength in numbers. So that's where my journey began.
Wow. It's,
what about you, Charlie?
Amazing journey.
How did your journey begin, Charlie?
My journey was quite simple, but I want to know something very important from your side about timing. Which year was it for Matthew when you did your first GPU mining? And
this was started in 2021.
2021. Yeah. I see. What about Daniel?
In 2020.
Oh, you started earlier.
Yeah, I really looked pretty heavily actually into it in 2017. I guess that's probably part of the story real quick. But yeah, in 2017, I had worked with a Bitcoin enthusiast. They introduced me to Bitcoin, a little bit of Ethereum, and they really didn't know anything about it, but they introduced the idea that these Bitcoins are mined through computers. And immediately I wanted to do it, but immediately I was told it couldn't be done. It was too difficult and these sorts of things. So I didn't pursue it at that time. I didn't have a lot of capital either. So, but that's why I was able to jump in so quickly in 2020 is my mind was already primed to do it. And then when I realized I could do it, I jumped right in.
I see. Okay, for me, it was also pretty much the same. I looked into the matter a lot in 2017, but Matthew is quite young, right? So I think like 25, 23.
27, Charlie. Look, I had an opportunity back in the day. I could have owned half of all the Dogecoin, and I obviously, who could have known back then? So
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
been
yeah.
dabbling here and there, but for mining, yeah, it really started in 21.
Look, Charlie, the crypto space, 27 is like an old man, dude.
Uh, yeah, and I was like an old man in mentality for Bitcoin. Even when I was younger, I was 2017, and so I was 25, 2 years younger than Matthew, and that's exactly 2 years back when Matthew started doing the GPU mining. Yeah.
I find blockchain, this industry, it's kind of not all the time, but more. I think more young people just start understand it better. And that's not totally true across all walks of life, but one thing, I was at WDMS in Hong Kong, and what was he was like the head of legal or the head of public policy for one of these big mining companies, and he said something that was really interesting. Um, on one of the last bills in the US that was voted on for crypto regulations, it was like the average age of the senators who voted no was about 70. I don't think it was 80, but it was about 70, I think, years old. And the average age of the politicians, of the senators who voted yes, like to support the crypto bill, the average age was like 40. So it really does skew, I think, to younger people. And I think we're more willing to jump onto these new and crazy technologies, right? More willing to take risks.
Yeah, definitely. I think the risk factor and just the amount of new things to learn. It's like learning a whole new language, a whole new technology in one. So it's a lot for somebody to take on that hasn't already been primed or exposed to it as part of the culture. So it's definitely, for me, in my early 40s, steep learning curve. But I like to learn, like to dive into things and picked it all up. But yeah, you guys all know, you talk to people that are not in the space, and very quickly they get glazed over, and you realize, okay, I better stop talking. I'm losing them.
People, like, if I'm walking on the street or I'm out and just random people and what do you do? It's like I don't even know what to say sometimes, right?
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah, like you said, there are a lot of learning curves for me. I'm still having this old man mentality. I know there are a lot of concepts in blockchain, like Web3 and everything, like DeFi. But for me, I'm just particularly mining addicted. I'm not saying I'm addicted to mining. I'm just addicted to the topic. Yeah, yeah. So every time I talk to anybody, I just try to pick up their brain on mining itself. Yeah, everything else, not my homework, not my piece of cake. Yeah, I know it's very interesting, but it will take me forever. So for Matthew, you learned everything. Yeah, that's why you built up the Kadena Mining Club, right? You're up to something. Yeah.
well, I try, Charlie. I try the best that I can, right?
Always like the front runner. Yeah.
Yeah, there's always so much new stuff coming out every day. It's hard to keep track. But I do think that I found a really good one here with Kadena. I think Daniel agrees. I think most of the Kadena Mining Club community agrees. I know that obviously we've seen better prices, but we think things are going to come around soon. A lot of exciting things on the horizon that we'll get to touch on, I suspect, today for both Kadena Mining Club and for other things happening in the ecosystem. So I can't wait.
Yeah, it's been a great run, man. Last like 3 weeks, been a great run up so far. Let's keep seeing this great run for both Bitcoin, the altcoins. Kadena's looking good. I last I checked, hovering around 58 cents, up from around a low of 42 cents over the last 30 days. So it's looking good. Good time to mine Kadena.
How's it really doing now, Kadena Mining? Because I haven't been supplied any like Kadena miners recently in the past few months. Yeah, it's not being asked popularly asked. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's hey, I guess you were going to say not financial advice, but when I ran some numbers through Minostat earlier today, I was looking at somewhere around $6.70 to $7 a day after electricity cost if you're at 9 cents. So I'd say pretty darn good if you compare that to other miners right there. And the barrier of entry into mining Kadena is lower than it's ever been by far on a per terahash basis. So if we can scoop up $6-7 a day after electricity cost when Kadena is at 58 cents, then imagine what happens if when Kadena moves again. And I'm really excited about it. I really think right now is the time. If you thought about mining Kadena, is the time to dive in and do it. And that's my personal opinion. I could be totally wrong, but I just can't imagine a lower cost by terahash in the next year or two. It's just my personal opinion.
I see. Are you talking about KA3, the miner?
Yeah, exactly. KA3. I could be wrong. Maybe somebody's spending time, millions of dollars developing something better right now. But with the bear market and altcoins, underperforming the Bitcoin, I don't see why somebody's trying to spend $50 million to make a better chipset. It wouldn't make sense to me. So I think that as prices rise and climb and Kadena grows, yeah, sure, somebody's gonna then come up with the next greatest miner. But I just can't see that happening for some time, 1-2 years, in my opinion. But again, I'd hate to somebody announce a new Kadena miner next week.
Yeah,
but disclaimer, it could happen, but we can never know the future. We can only look into the past and then use that as a good predictor for the future. And we could probably look at the more recent past to get a better idea of what might happen in the very recent future. And that's how I know how to forecast things. And based on that, that's why I think we're in a really good spot right now on a cost per terahash basis to mine Kadena.
Cost per terahash, you mean for the machine prices or your electricity and all that?
Yeah, I mean, the machine prices. I mean, geez, Matthew, what was the cost per terahash on, when the KD5 was out and Kadena was at $28? I don't even know.
At its peak, it was $2,500, $3,000 terahash.
Per terahash, right? Makes sense. Because they were like 18 terahash that unit, and they went as high as $60,000 maybe.
Yeah, around there.
So right now,
a little you want to count the top eBay sales, and it's higher than that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I met someone at Mining Disrupt that paid close to $60,000 cash money for a used KD5 in a grocery store parking lot. So. Wow. So those sales happened, and right now you can purchase a Kadena miner somewhere in the $3,000, maybe slightly sub $3,000 ballpark for at least shipped to the U.S. for 166 terahash, and then we know there's some firmware that's starting to come out there that we've seen some results of more than 200 terahash with custom firmware. And I think from what I hear, that might be pretty close to public release. So that's why I think, for 220 terahash, $3,000 compared to 18 terahash at $60,000, it's a great time to get a KA3.
Yeah, so tell us, Matthew, why Kadena?
Yeah, absolutely, Charlie. Great kind of interlude to that, Daniel. So Kadena Mining Club, obviously we mine a lot of Kadena, but in order to understand KMC, we have to understand Kadena. So if this is your first time hearing about this blockchain, gear up. listen to what I have to say, and obviously go do your own research after the fact as well. So Kadena for me, I really see it as kind of like a Bitcoin 2.0, able to solve a lot of the problems that Bitcoin cannot solve. So I like to say, if you like Bitcoin, you'll love Kadena. So Kadena, obviously, proof of work, layer one blockchain. It's really the only technology out there at the moment that solves the blockchain trilemma of scalability, decentralization, and security. So the big three. So can it scale? Yes. 480,000 plus transactions per second. Is it decentralized? Yes. It's built off of the way that Bitcoin's decentralized with proof of work consensus mechanism. And then is it secure? Absolutely, with its native smart contract language called Pact. And we can talk about that, I think, in just a second. So, but how does this all work kind of maybe more in depth? I want you to imagine a one lane highway system, okay? If there's a lot of traffic, if there's a lot of transactions, that one lane highway system is going to get clogged up. And that's what you'll experience on networks like Bitcoin. When ordinals are heating up like they are now, transactions slow down a little bit, transaction fees get higher. It's much more noticeable on Ethereum, where Pepe coin comes around, or the NFTs come back on Ethereum. If they do, we know very well, I'm sure, about the gas fee issue on ETH. Kadena solves all of this by really operating as, you can think of a 20-lane highway system right now. Okay, so Kadena operates a multi-chain system. So you think 20 chains, 20 lanes on the highway. Okay, so if Kadena Mining Club is doing a big NFT launch on chain 8, right, and things might be slowing down on chain 8, you can always go and use chain 9, chain 10, chain 11. You can even use chain 19, but I don't think anyone uses chain 19 right now. Either way, if Kadena grows to the point where the 20 chains aren't enough, Kadena can continually scale to as many chains as you want. 20 chains, 30 chains, 40, 50, etc., and so on. Talk about Pact. Pact is really cool. It's really the first human readable smart contract language. And one of the things I like the most about Pact is I had to do some not development work, but I had to execute some code through Pact for KMC, because our developer was he on his honeymoon at that point? I think he was on his honeymoon. So I had to execute some code. And I go in there, I'm following the steps, the guide that our developer told me. And I missed something. I missed a bracket there when I was going to upload it onto the Kadena blockchain. And the blockchain caught it for me. It was like, hey, buddy, that's wrong. You got to go fix that. And I was like, oh, yeah, I did do that wrong. So I went back and I fixed it, made sure everything worked really, really well. So that was just great firsthand experience proving why Pact is so great. So who built this, right? I mean, this all sounds really good, but who actually built this? Two gentlemen, Stuart Popejoy and Will Martino. Now, these two individuals, they met at JP Morgan, and they led JP Morgan's emerging blockchain group, and they built JPM Coin together at JP Morgan. JPM Coin recently hit the news. It settled, I think, over $300 billion in transactions, and was expanding to the European Union. So these two built that, and it's working really well for JP Morgan internally. Of course, they wanted to leave JP Morgan. This is how they built Kadena. They wanted to leave JP Morgan, and they wanted to build something on their own. That's how Kadena was born. Early on in the story of Kadena, they were joined by a gentleman called Dr. Stuart Haber. Now, some of you Bitcoin maxis might have heard about Dr. Stuart Haber, and that's because he's the third most cited individual. He's the most cited individual in the Bitcoin white paper. He's cited 3 times in the Bitcoin white paper, and he's working on the security protocol for NFTs on the Kadena blockchain. And of course, we are running an NFT project on the Kadena blockchain. So it gets me really excited knowing that um, our contracts essentially is secured by one of the most um, you know genius cryptographers and blockchain engineers of our generation, Dr. Stuart Haber, doing this for over 30 years. So really, really excited about that. So all of this, again, so I'll wrap it up here. All of this sounds really great. So why are we at, 58, 60 cents? Why aren't we getting some better price action? And, I'll chalk it up to this. If you go back, look at the charts, you see that we went from like 30 cents to $25. Um, at that stage in Kadena's development, there was nothing on the Kadena blockchain. There was no NFTs, there was no DeFi, there was no dApps at all. There was nothing built on the Kadena blockchain. So people came, they looked around, nothing to do, and they left. But now, since that boom, the up and the down, everyone's been building. We're doing so many crazy things, which I'm sure we'll get to in a little bit. There's tons of other exciting projects coming up, which I'm sure we'll talk about too during this podcast a little bit later. A lot to be excited about on the Kadena blockchain. So, Charlie, I hope that was a good dive in for you and
Wow, 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 wow.
got you interested in this a little bit.
I felt like I was in an economics class,
Economist,
and like maybe in Harvard, which I've never been.
I haven't been either, Charlie. Believe me.
Oh, you didn't go to Harvard?
Oh no.
Oh, Yale is not bad either. Yeah.
Pennsylvania
Yeah.
State University. If you got any Penn Staters in the chat, give you guys some love, men and women. Great school.
Yeah. So I have a mentor. So I call him a mentor after many years because it's him who brought me to Bitcoin and mining. Yeah. So he talked to me. He said, Charlie, only Bitcoin is the king. Everything else is it's just full of hype and just speculation. Yeah. But when you explained your analysis, your knowledge on the Kadena, I believe there is some truth to it. Yeah, it's like everyone has some certain firm belief in something, when it comes to cryptocurrency or mining. Like, oh, I should tell you, yesterday I met with the Gold Shell guy. So
Oh yeah.
the Gold Shell salesperson came here, right here,
Oh really?
on yeah, and we were having some tea just right in my little office. Yeah.
You got
So
to meet the gold shell people. They never wanted to call me.
they want to call everybody right now.
You want to call everyone now? Okay, I'll get back in
Because
touch.
the market is too bad. I was asking them, oh, are you guys really selling anything? Oh, of course we're selling something. Well, of course, I got nobody asking about their miners and their products anymore. It looks like they're making some like blockchain watches, like blockchain watches.
Yeah.
Oh, I have this Apple Watch. I mean, what could be better than this? Yeah, and they said it's some smartwatch built to monitor the your miners across different brands. Yeah, and I just went to their website again, like after so many months. Yeah. Yeah, and I asked him, hey, what's this? What's that? Yeah. So it's a bear market. He kept telling me that. Yeah. But he's not a strong believer in Bitcoin. He probably likes Bitcoin, but he doesn't want to have any of these or mine any of these. Yeah, because I want to talk to him. I want to hodl some machines, S21. I want to, stock some machines. And he said, oh, that's gonna be a terrible idea. Yeah. So So Bitcoin is definitely the king, but when it comes to actual investment, if you want to multiply your wealth, maybe not Bitcoin, maybe not. Yeah. So maybe Kadena or Casper. When I hear about Kadena Mining Club these days, I just can't not stop thinking about Casper. I was like, shouldn't we have Casper Mining Club? Yeah, maybe you guys are gonna do it. Yeah. what do you guys think about Casper? You think it's good or it's full of bullshit or whatever?
We're we're not gonna do a Caspa mining club at this time. But I don't know. What's your thoughts, Matthew? Why not? I was gonna say that Caspa is like the new kid in town, right? It's like Kadena was the cool kid. What 18 months back. And then now it's always changed. It's always something new. Caspa is the new cool kid at school, and it's getting all the attention. But I'm not sure why. What do you think, Matthew?
Yeah, well, a lot of things here. First, I want to say the Gold Shell team. I big fan of the people over working at Gold Shell. Hopefully, they can come up with some new cool miner. I know one of the salespeople, he messaged me as well. He said, "Hey, Matt, we have something really exciting and new coming. Do you want to hear about it?" I'm like, "Oh, is there a new miner? What's going on?" And yeah, the watches are public now, so it ended up being the watches. And I was like, "Damn, it's not a, it's."
Oh, you know about the watches too, huh?
Yeah, love those guys over at Gold Shell.
Yeah, definitely.
I do honestly appreciate the hustle though. If you're not selling miners, like what can you do? Because you got to change, you got to adapt, especially in the bear. So I think that Gold Shell is showing us as a company, right, that they're a survivor. They're going to do whatever it takes, and really excited to see. It's not over for Gold Shell. I don't believe by a long shot. So I can't wait to see what they come up with next. But sorry, go ahead, Matthew.
No, that's all right, Daniel. And so I'll work on what Charlie and you said about you were working with talking to a colleague who said, Bitcoin's everything, everything else is garbage, and then I'll work that into some comments about Caspa. So the thing with Bitcoin is, yeah, it is king, right? It is definitely the king. It's the king of everything we know in blockchain so far. But you have to consider that computers are over 100 years old, right? Computers are like 150 years old was when they created the first computer. And that first computer, it didn't do much, right? It worked, but it you couldn't, there's no internet, there was no, it performed very basic calculations, right? And Bitcoin is only I think we just celebrate the 14th birthday, I believe, of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's 14 years old. It's still very, very new. Is Bitcoin the solution forever? I don't think so. There might be some sense in it being a store of value, definitely. But when we start talking about using blockchain for other things, using blockchain for operating a business where there's a lot of transactions, using a blockchain for settling things like the stock market, using blockchain for doing things like voting, right? I know we just had our elections here in Virginia. So we always talk about, wouldn't it be great to have voting on the blockchain? You couldn't do voting on Bitcoin. It wouldn't work. All the transactions, no one would be able to use it for weeks if we all voted on Bitcoin, right? So there needs to be something else there needs to be some innovation in order for blockchain to really be adopted by real businesses and by real people. Okay, so now is Kadena that answer? I like to think so. Maybe it's not. We're still very early on, but we started talking about we're getting into Caspa a little bit. We're not going to be doing a Caspa collection like we've done with Kadena Mining Club with the fractionalized ownership. I kind of decided that wasn't a very good idea to buy those miners for 40, 50,000 at the time. I know they've obviously came down now, but the economics don't really make sense for me. And one thing I will say is we are going to have Caspa miners on our marketplace soon, because we're launching a full ASIC miner marketplace on Kadena now. So whether you want to mine Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin, Caspa, it's up to anybody. So anyone can come onto our website, trade Bitcoin miners, trade Caspa miners if you want, back and forth. So really exciting stuff. And I'll close it with this. We cannot run Kadena Mining Club on Caspa. So that's why Kadena is the answer. We couldn't run it. You can't run anything on Caspa. You can just trade things back and forth right now. Maybe we'll see that change. I don't know, but this is where we are today.
I w- I wasn't there when the Kadena mining was very feverish. I only like came back to the world of ASICs when the bull run was almost going to be finished. Yeah, so I saw the tail of the craze over the Kadena mining. When I came in, uh, the KD6 was about to come. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wasn't there like for the KD2, KD5. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And oh, so these few months, but I witnessed the entire process of Kadena mining crazes. When there was any specific machine for Kadena, I got a client approaching me saying that he mined some Caspers using GPUs, and he said, "Oh, he made a lot of money over these." Yeah, so I just uh, this is just so similar to Kadena. So I don't know if it's Casper is gonna be like Kadena, because right now the mining of Kadena is very little, uh, at least on my side. Like judging by like how many machines I could supply. Yeah,
Right.
but maybe that's good because not so many people are after the same thing. So you probably will have more profit. Like I have a client that ordered many K7s, and he really liked this idea. He would like to order more K7s of this coin called CKB.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe for them it's not really about like, oh, what's the science behind it. But Matthew, you're a guru over these blockchain and all these cryptocurrencies. But I don't know for them, like what is the most important to them, like the belief in certain coin or just the profit, or maybe a combination of both, or more on the profit side. Yeah, so when you don't have many people wanting to mine the same coin, maybe it's the same for the Kadena. Like right now, if it's not too hot, it's a better opportunity. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Well, Charlie, I think in mining, a lot of us we think long term, right? So the KS3 making $100, $130 a day right now, it's great. It is, and for everybody who has them, and for everybody who's gotten their hands on them early, it's worked out really well. And more power to you. Congratulations. That's a huge win. But what's it going to look like in a year? What's it going to look like in 2 years? I'd rather be buying Kadena miners now and not buying Caspa miners. If Caspa is this amazing project that sticks around and can do everything it says it can do, I'd be interested in buying some Caspa miners on the next dip. I think Caspa being what, like 1.5, almost 2 billion maybe now on the market cap side of things. It may, I'm smelling it might be a little overvalued, but again, I don't know. You never know.
Mm. At least the machines have depreciated a lot
Yeah.
in the value. It looks like Ice River can manufacture as many of them. Judging by the
Charlie,
price. Yeah.
sorry, Charlie. Who is Ice River, Charlie? Do you know? Do you know
I
this
don't know them. I've never shaken hands with them yet. Yeah, and like the sales office is in America. Yeah, and I tried to meet the sales girl, the salesperson, when I was in America, but back then she was in Hong Kong
Mhm.
visiting some distributors here in China. So she arranged many meetings with them because that was the only opportunity for her to meet with them, because their boss doesn't want her to come to mainland China. It's
Yeah.
American company. You're going to do something big in mainland China, and obviously they closed many deals. Yeah, for these miners. So if you ordered a certain amount as quota, then you are up. Then you're eligible for ordering more at their like reseller or like distribution prices you know
Right.
yeah, I don't know them very well. That's all the interaction I have with the salesperson. So she was just talking about money, like it's like a woman always talk to you about money. That's the same thing. Yeah, she talked about, oh, you have orders? How much you gonna pay? That's it. Yeah. Um, I did talk to her that, oh, I do YouTube, but she was not much interested. But this is okay and all understandable because the same thing happens with the Go Shell. When Go Shell, he actually the Go Shell salesperson, which is the biggest salesperson in their company, he told me, hey, he linked me up with some other good ASICs resources, and I said, "Hey, I'm Mr. Yan." I said, "Mr. Yan, I can hook you up with some good contacts I have too." And he said, "Oh, I don't need when we have some popular miners, I don't need anybody to hook me up." Yeah, people would just go to them. Like so, the same thing happens with Ice River.
Right.
Yeah. So that's all I know about Ice River. And in the beginning, I was very suspicious, and I didn't want to do any promotion or anything. I didn't want to. I didn't even want to study too much about it because it's an altcoin. It's a it's a brand new company, small company. Yeah, for and pretty much everyone was very suspicious about them until their first machine came out. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't know what's gonna happen later. Yeah, but my personal suggestion is that don't buy the Casper miners, but people just keep buying them, and yeah. So maybe it will end up like Gold Shell because Gold Shell recently is really quiet. Yeah, but KA3 is still doing good. People at least are still asking about it. Yeah, KA3. Yeah, if people ask you about anything about Kadena Mining, they will get KA3, and the price is stable, like cabbage, like fruits. Like I'm saying the price is stable. It's not a cryptocurrency miner anymore. It's like a iPhone, something like that. And that is good. Yeah, there's not too much hype of it. Yeah.
Well, look, we've got lots of people in the comments here. Let us know what about Caspa miner. Are you going to buy one or are you not? Are you going to buy it now? Are you going to wait for the dip? What do you guys think?
Kadena?
Smash some likes, and of course, I see we've got a lot of our community here. So, Charlie Lin, you already heard from him a bit, but he's an absolute legend. He lives in China. He's right there at the source of manufacturing. So definitely, if you're not already following Charlie Lin, give him a follow. He's just really fun to listen to, very informative.
Thank you, Daniel. I just like to follow the market of the ASICs. That's it.
Yeah. Well, to touch on that, Charlie, I think Bitmain, they had their price in the last batch, and now all the resellers, they don't want to go underneath that price, right? So that's why you see they're just stuck right there because nobody's willing to sell them at a loss. But as we've been talking about, the price is creeping up, so we can see profitability. We are seeing profitability move the other way. And look, if nothing else, Caspa, it's taken some attention away for Kadena, which has allowed Kadena Mining Club and all of us to mine a lot more Kadena while everybody else is going off worrying about other coins. So, as we were saying, we're taking a much more longer outlook on this. When the time eventually does come for the bull run, we're going to have a lot more Kadena when the price is, 10, 15, 20, 25. But with all of that, I think it may be a good idea to talk about KMC for a second, Charlie, and then we can
definitely
where we've come from, where we're going, talk about Paraguay, what's going on.
Sure. People are asking about KMC and Paraguay. Yeah, in the comment section. Yeah, many of them.
Yeah, awesome. Well, look, we love the support from all the guys all the men and women that have came out from the Kadena community, from Kadena Mining Club. Yeah, Charlie's on. Definitely subscribe to Charlie if you haven't already. Leave him a like. Let's get some more people in here. This is a fun conversation we're having. So, yes, we've talked about Kadena. So now, what is Kadena Mining Club? And really, as I kind of was going through my background of, trying to find a way to mine more, right? Obviously, The Ethereum moving over to proof of stake was coming out, so GPUs were going away, ASICs were coming in. You can't really run an ASIC in an apartment. And I got talking to a lot of people like Daniel, right? Like a lot of our Kadena community members. I think C-Rob, Christopher Robinson, I saw a comment from him. He's in here, a bunch of the OGs. It's like, how do we make this more accessible in a way that is new, it's fresh, it's exciting, and gets people interested in mining? And I think that's what we've done with KMC. So we're really bridging the gap between real world assets. Of course, we're using ASIC miners, and the blockchain. And we're solving a problem for aspiring and even active and current miners all around the world right now. So, as you know, there's a bunch of barriers to entry with mining. You have your electricity cost. Do you have the right space? And do you have the finances to buy a miner up front all by yourself? Really are those three big questions. So what we've done is we've created an NFT collection, 10,000 NFTs, all of them fully animated, 10,000 fully animated NFTs with artwork that is inspired by, crypto culture and, really just kind of, really brings to life ASIC miners and the community that we've built around this awesome technology. So for example, you'll see traits in our collection, like the Bitcoin pizza box. You'll see that in there. You'll see Mr. Gox, the crypto trading hamster who outperformed people like Warren Buffett in 2021 trading crypto. A lot of just great shout outs and throwbacks to the culture and the industry that we have. And beyond the amazing artwork, of course, each NFT comes with Kadena mining power as well. So when you own the NFT, you own the rights to that hash rate, and you own the rights to all the rewards generated by that hash rate. And I'm really excited to announce we recently crossed the 1 million Kadena mined mark, where we've now mined over 1 million Kadena since we started just over 1 year ago. So million Kadena, 10,000 NFTs. If you've been mining with us from the beginning, you've mined over 100 Kadena per NFT that you own, which is really amazing. How do we all make that happen? We have our mining farm here in the US. We have access to really superb industrial electricity rates that you cannot get in most of the world. A lot of miners are priced out just because they live in California. Maybe they live in Germany where energy is too expensive. Maybe you live in China and you can't mine in China anymore. We're providing access for everyone to do that. And it's all ran on the Kadena blockchain. Everything runs and lives and operates on the Kadena blockchain. All the data is stored on the blockchain. It's a really exciting project. And if this is interesting to you, I highly recommend heading over to our Twitter at Kadena Mining Club. You can find all of our links in our link tree in our bio. Head over to our marketplace, farm.kadamining.club. Take a look at all of the artwork that we have. Really, really cool stuff. I highly recommend, if nothing else, to just go take a look at the awesome art we have. Two amazing artists, Way Fam and Mega Dan. I don't want to say his last name. I think he wants to remain private, but really awesome team we have over here, Charlie. And of course, we got Daniel building the tech lab, has it built. A lot of cool things. Everyone's doing a great job.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Daniel? I think I covered KMC pretty well there. Did I miss anything?
What do you think, Daniel?
No, real well, man. I was gonna share some. I'm actually I had to move rooms. I'm actually in the tech lab now. But we got to keep some mystery. So I into a different part of the tech lab other than the main mining chamber. So that'll be revealed pretty soon. The tech lab is built. We're battling with the energy company on which side of the road the transformer should go and all kinds of things. It's caused some unfortunate delays, but we're working very, very hard on that, and we will have power very soon. But hey, I wanted to share some news. I'm pretty sure most people on the call know of MARA, or Marathon Digital Holdings. Marathon Digital Holdings continues international expansion with 100% renewable powered Bitcoin mining project in Paraguay, which is interesting. This article, this was maybe updated. This is dated November 7th, so pretty current. I thought it was announced maybe a few days before that. But it's pretty, me and Matthew chuckled to see that, that they're going into Paraguay,
Gives us an idea of why they weren't so interested in for having a conversation with us, but we'll leave that out of it. Yeah, Marathon moving to Paraguay, expanding their operation, not moving, but expanding their operations to Paraguay. So really exciting, big company like that coming down. It's a great country, Charlie. Have you heard much about
No,
it?
absolutely.
Yeah, of course, I heard about Paraguay. I sent a few miners to Paraguay already for a client in Switzerland. Yeah. It didn't buy more machines, but I heard that the rate of electricity is really cheap there. Yeah, so we want to hear more about Paraguay from you guys. Yeah. You guys already have a facility there, like a big operation there, a plan? Yeah.
You want to go ahead, Dan?
Yeah. So, yeah, sure thing. Yeah. So we're partnering with a company in Paraguay, a very good company, very above board. They're by the book, 100%, and they've been mining there for over 2 years now. Currently, with 12 megawatts of miners up and running, currently deployed, and they have another 12 megawatts under development. Which we're partnering very closely with them on that. So we do have potentially room now to take miners. But the big project we're working on together is a 130 megawatt mining farm that is located just outside of the capital, Asuncion. And so it's in an ideal location. We'll be, I think, the ones that are the closest to the capital, which I think has some significance we can talk about. But I really wanted to dive into, like, why are we even talking about Paraguay? Why are we even considering Paraguay? Well, for me, there's quite a few reasons. And of course, this is really important, especially right now in a bear market. Rate's very important. It enables you to keep those miners on. And then in the bull run, it enables you to purchase maybe not current generation miners, maybe miners that are a previous generation at much lower rates per terahash than the current new release and things like that. Like currently, like the S21 and I think what's the is it the M60 Plus or whatever they're called. Those are available now, but they're really expensive. The new generation miners, especially in the bull run. So rate is important, but a lot of times in life, Charlie, you get what you pay for. So, there's some countries that, I meet people at conference, hey, what's your energy rate? Oh, it's free. We don't pay energy. But you get what you pay for. So I think if you're getting, ultra cheap energy, or if you're hearing like a 2-3 cent rate, or it's free, it's probably not above board. It's probably not all paid for, or it's probably in a political environment or situation where your assets might not be really secure. So I think that's why I really love Paraguay, because it's a really sweet spot of a really, really good energy rate. But it's also a country that's got a great, stable political environment. Regulations around Bitcoin mining are relatively low to what I think we experience here in the West. They're quite happy to sort of leave us alone. There's in the current facility that I explained, we're a little above 99% uptime, and that's what we expect for our 130 megawatt farm. Like any, I think, like most countries, at least here in the U.S., curtailment could still be a thing, but based on the amount of energy that is available to the grid and the system in Paraguay, it's hard to imagine that they're going to need to curtail. So we're going to get ready to share some pretty spectacular content of our visit to Paraguay, our recent visit, the farm, but particularly, I think what really impressed Matthew and I was the hydro dams, the third largest dam in the world. And when you see it in photos, it just can't put into perspective the scale of this structure. Now, Charlie Lin, you're used to some pretty spectacular structures, I'm sure, from China. I mean, the infra that they're building there is mind-boggling. But we sadly, we're not building anything like that in the States right now. Nothing even close. It's disappointing. But they have this Itaipu Dam. It is if you look at the if you want to just look right now and look up a photo of the Itaipu Dam, to put it into scale, it's the same height as the Hoover Dam. It's about 65 stories high, but it's incredibly long. So if you think about the height that you're seeing, because the photos just, you can't really comprehend, it's a massive, massive structure. That dam provides 90% of power to all of Paraguay and 15% of power to Brazil. And it could easily provide all of the power to Paraguay. They just have other hydro dams. It's not the only one. It's a lot of water in Paraguay. So close to 100% uptime, 100% hydropower, which is amazing. That's what you want. We want to, look after the environment. We want to put our best foot forward when regulators are coming around talking about boiling the oceans. Hey, we're hydropower, man, renewable. Think about where Paraguay is. It's really it's at the bottom of Brazil. You think about the Amazon, the rainforests, all that water is finding its way down through Latin America into Paraguay. That same water is coming. It's the Parana River, but essentially that water's coming in, providing what feels like unlimited power, but you also have unlimited access to water, which on an industrial mining scale is really, really important. If you look at some of the new mining innovations with immersion, which we're really bullish on, and then even hydro technology, it is very water intensive to cool those miners as part of the cooling products. For example, the S19 XP hydro miners, the containers, the 1 megawatt container in a hot environment, if you put that in Middle East, Texas, you're going to need 8,000 gallons of water per container per day. And I think for a lot of us that got our start mining at home and mine at home, megawatt seems like it's a big operation, but really on an industrial scale, it's very small. So you're looking at 130 megawatt farm, and if we want to dedicate, let's say 30, 20, even 20% of that to hydro immersion mining, you do the math, it's a lot of gallons. And here in the West or here in the US, where it's just not, there's a lot of areas in the US where it's not responsible really, honestly, to pull that amount of water out of the ground. Like down in Florida, where you might want to mine with those types of technologies, you're not going to boil the oceans, but you really are probably going to have an impact with that level of water pulling out of the sandbars of the ground. But you look at Paraguay, it's unlimited. It's basically unlimited water. There's so much water there that you can tap into very easily to run a big industrial operation that is clean, efficient. So I mean, those are my big ones, man. It overcomes, Matthew was talking about when we're starting KMC, the obstacles to mining, the cost, the barrier of entry, managing the heat, these kind of things. Well, when you get into trying to do immersion mining, trying to do mining at scale, trying to find a good energy rate, you're running into all kinds of other obstacles. And I think that we overcome all of these big hurdles in Paraguay in terms of cost per cent per kilowatt hour, or cost per megawatt hour, however you want to label it, access to water, reasonable regulation. It's not like it's unregulated there, but it's a smaller country. It's a lot more reasonable. For example, when we took our trip to Paraguay, we met with a government official that's in charge of infrastructure for the entire nation. So we're actually able to have 2-hour meetings with people like this. I'm sure we'll meet with the president on one of these next trips. And so it's kind of neat. It's a smaller country, less regulation, and very stable political environment. So for me, those are the big whys for why Paraguay. What do you think, Matthew? On the political side of things, I know you know a little bit more than me about that.
Yeah. Well, you covered a lot of it really well, Daniel. Excellent job. I think a couple of the things you didn't mention is, very low taxes in Paraguay, very, very low taxes in Paraguay, which is amazing. You mentioned stable economic and monetary policy, especially for South America. I know some people think about South America, you think of like the favelas in Brazil. This is not the case. I spent almost 3 weeks in Paraguay. I got back last week. Fantastic country. I felt very safe. At no time did I ever really feel threatened. I felt comfortable. Really amazing people, no matter whether you're in the capital or you're outside the city in the rural parts of the country. Just a really amazing country. It really is. And I can't wait to go back. Santiago Pena, the new president of Paraguay, really well-spoken guy. He's young, he's full of energy, he's focused on the economy, bringing in jobs, weeding out corruption. So really bullish on him. You mentioned low electricity prices, 4.2 cents. But of course, you have to think about CapEx for things like employees as well, people that will manage the farm, provide repairs. In the United States, you're talking about hiring a full-time employee. That's a lot of money. It's not so much money in Paraguay. And of course, even if we're paying them not so much, it's still an amazing wage down for them. And in our plans and in our speaking with our partners, we plan on taking very good care of the people who work with us at our operation. And then the last thing I want to touch on just really quickly is speed. Speed is incredibly important in a business like mining. We need to be online now. In fact, we need to be online yesterday, right? So when we're talking about building 130 megawatts, we need to build the substation. We need to get the land ready. We need to develop all of this stuff. In the United States, this would take 2 or 3 years, maybe. In Paraguay, it's just a year. So speed is incredibly important in Paraguay, and that's one of the, I think, really, main things that we need to focus on and think about in this move is just speed, because there's less regulation. There's not government bureaucrats coming down to the build site every week, signing off on this, signing off on that, right? It's just get there, get down there, you build. And we're working with one of the best construction companies in Paraguay. They know what they're doing. They've built substations before. They're going to get us up and running as quickly as they possibly can. So I can't wait for Paraguay. Charlie, how you thinking? How you feeling? You got any feedback on all of this? Sounds nice in the USA, genre says.
yes. Yeah. So here's what I think. I can already imagine the view. It's very visual from Daniel's description and from you too, Matthew. I think I have good imagination. It's already like a movie about Paraguay. Yes, spanning out in my brain. Yeah. What would be the electricity rate that we can get if we host with you? Yeah.
Well, it'll depend on what phase you come in and how many miners and things like that. So we're still in a pretty early phase. Right now I would call it maybe a partnership phase where we're looking to partner for the first 12 megawatts. So that'll be a bigger customer. And it would be like a 2 megawatt minimum. maximum of 12 megawatts, roughly.
Mm.
It'd be a pretty good rate if you're in a position to get in on 2 megawatts. Would be looking somewhere around. It'll be sub 5 cents, fully hosted. But I think sub 5 cents, fully hosted, all in, repairs included. So, but that's a 2 megawatt minimum. So I think for our audience, we've got a lot of at-home miners or people that are. I'm certainly not in the 2 megawatt category myself. So. I was thinking about the farm. I'd like to think this as the people's farm. So when we set out for Kadena Mining Club, and we were calling companies. Actually, prior to starting Kadena Mining Club, we were calling companies trying to buy a miner, and no one would even return our calls. Wanted to buy a KD6 for I think $35,000. Gold Shell wouldn't even return my emails. They're too busy, right? Now it's like full circle where I guess you're saying, we don't always maybe return their emails. And so we want to, and so we realized like, man, this is too difficult together back then. We need to get together as a group, strengthen numbers. And then guess what? Gold Shell returned our calls and we were able to get miners. Thankfully we didn't get too many Gold Shell miners and we got the KA3s eventually. But it's really the same way with, with mining on a smaller scale. Our goal would be to provide an opportunity for your at-home miner, or let's say you're somebody that doesn't have a big mining operation. I try to think of a quantity of miners, less than 20 miners. We want to try to provide an opportunity where there's a competitive rate where somebody can take their sub 20 miners and keep them on and compete with other small, medium, even large companies that are maybe having to invest a lot of CapEx to find the similar kind of energy rate. So I can't exactly tell you a rate today. We haven't defined, like that'll be like a much later phase in terms of, taking on sub 20 miners, but our goal would be to make it a very competitive rate that you would not be able to find on your own, and that would either have no or low CapEx. So it would be following with our core mission of mining for all. That's really our goal here, Charlie. So we can't do it alone. Even, in terms of us and our partners in Paraguay, we still need other partners to really, kick off the initial phase. But once we get going and we open this up, like our really true heart is to continue that vision. So it should be sub 7 cents, and depending on the quantity, sub 6 cents in the phase. Kind of give you an idea.
Yeah. We need to start with more bigger companies, mid-sized companies, get them on board, and then next year we're really planning on focusing again on the retail miner, residential miners, the kind of you're not average, I don't mean to say, but not like not an investor, not a big VC, just someone who wants a few of them. So a lot of exciting things. It's all going to be built on Kadena, and we're taking the first major step on that with our new release of the ASIC miner place on our website, where very soon people are going to have Bitcoin miners trading them, L7s, we might even have some Caspa miners being traded back and forth. We'll see. I know Coastal Crypto was still on here. Maybe they still are. We were talking about maybe getting a Caspa miner minted onto the Kadena blockchain. We might blow up the internet, you guys. If we mint a Caspa miner onto Kadena, we might blow up the internet. What do you think, Charlie? I think.
Yes. Sorry. What about this? Everything, right? Well, which one particular?
Yeah, no, I was. I know you were in the comments.
Yeah, I was just trying to ping the comment just now.
Yeah, no, that's okay. You think Twitter, crypto Twitter, mining Twitter would blow up if we minted a Caspa miner onto the Kadena blockchain? We might cause some chaos.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How can you do that, Casper, within Kadena Mining?
Yeah. So Charlie, and I think Daniel's frozen. So Daniel, you might have to drop off and then come back on. But so Charlie, what is an NFT? Maybe, and this is a question for people in the audience as well. I'd love for you to give me an answer. What is an NFT? Charlie, do you know what would you say an NFT is, Charlie?
Uh, non-fungible token.
Non-fun. Yeah. Well, okay.
And what would you, and let me ask you this: what would you say a non-fungible token is?
Well, I'm glad that we create a better view for you, because just now you made some great analysis, but we couldn't see you very well and couldn't even hear you sometimes. Yeah, but right now you look perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. We got Daniel back.
Yeah. So before that, it was the NFT version of you speaking.
Yeah.
So right now it's the real you.
It was all in the plan. It was all in the plan.
Yeah, that you are trying to create some dramatic effect for this concept.
We turned Daniel into
Sci-fi.
an NFT.
Yeah, it's like a sci-fi movie already. Yeah. I don't know NFT. I believe in what you said. You own some
Yeah.
Kadena Mining NFTs. Then we own the hash rate. We own the machines, like you said. Yeah.
Yeah, so spot on, Charlie. All an NFT is, it's a piece of data on the blockchain. So we've come to be familiar with, excuse me, we've come to get familiar with NFTs just being pictures of Bored Apes or CryptoPunks or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, an NFT is just a piece of data, and data can be anything. Data can be a contract, right? So when we say, how do we get Caspa miners onto the Kadena blockchain, all we need to do is write up a hosting contract, right? Like all of these hosting companies have all around the world. Draw up a contract, have all the data from the contract added onto the blockchain, and then boom, you can make that contract tradable. Now anybody can trade that Caspa miner back and forth. All the data that goes along with that miner is uploaded by the user. So then we can easily swap the miner's pool over to its new mining pool. At the moment, it's manually. In the future, we'd like for that to be automated. But for now, it's manual. So it's just a contract to own the miner, earn the rewards from it, and have it hosted in our data center. That's all it is. So that's how we're going to have a Caspa miner on Kadena. It's just a contract of the Caspa miner that's tradable on Kadena.
Very scientific
Very,
description.
very
Yeah. As always from you, Professor.
Professor.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It just just make sure that we have we own the hash rate, we own the machines, we own the reward and the results. Yeah.
Absolutely, Charlie.
I like that. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. So on this protocol, users have full access to their pool data. So if you're using Ant Pool, using via BTC, that's still all you. We don't manage any of that stuff. And then ultimately, at any time, if you're not happy with the service, you can burn your NFT, and we will ship you the miner associated with your NFT. And that's how KMC works now. So we're just going to roll that into how we operate in the future as well.
Okay, Matthew, I want to ask you, what if the miners are burned? What if one of those miners is burned? Does that mean the NFT is invalid? Is gone? Yeah.
Right. Absolutely, Charlie. Well, it's absolutely, it's a great question, Charlie. So just like in how situations work now, when you're having miners hosted, if a miner's damaged, needs to be repaired, those repair bills will still be invoiced to the owner of the NFT. If the miner is unfortunately irreparable, then we'll have to source a new hash board. I think on those situations, you have to work it out on a case-by-case basis and see what the customer is most interested in doing. But that's just part of the business, and we'll work with that as any other company does in any traditional hosting manner.
I see. So you still have to link the virtual NFT with the actual machines. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely,
Mm.
Charlie. Absolutely right.
Yeah, I like the idea of buying a small fraction of mining NFTs, so you don't have to buy the whole machine. Yeah, and that's
It's kind of a good way to like dip your toes in, Charlie. Right? I mean, you don't want to buy a $3,000 KA3 maybe, but for a couple $100, you can own part of it, get the experience of mining. We definitely realize that our product is not the most perfect answer from a decentralization standpoint, but we're doing the best we can, and we're allowing a lot of people to mine who would have never been able to do it before. And I think that's really important for our industry, especially when you have the mainstream media, for example, talking about boiling the oceans. We put a very strong emphasis on mining responsibly and educating people that it's not all bad. It's in a lot of cases, the newspaper companies, the media companies, they're burning more energy than the miners are anyway, right? So they're killing more trees, and it's just, it is what it is.
okay, Matthew and Daniel. I want to ask you. I know maybe the majority of the miners you're hosting right now are Kadena miners, but do you recommend any miners? Like, what do you think are good miners or good coins to mine? Yeah.
I mean, I like right now, if I was to buy a miner right now today, I still like the S19K, because you can start mining Bitcoin today with that, and you can get a really great cost per terahash on that miner, and the efficiency really isn't so bad at all. We have to keep, really close, like everything in mining, especially with purchasing miners. This information can change by the day. So it's really important to stay nimble with the outlook of, if you were to purchase that miner, how much Bitcoin are you going to mine, and what is the cost? What's your energy cost going to be? Because that'll transition as we get closer to the shipment of the S21. There's going to be a point where it's going to, I think, be much better to buy the S21 or slightly better. But I always think diversification is good too, right? So if you're buying one machine, or you're putting all your eggs in that one basket. But I think there's a lot of people right now, costs are down. It used to, I remember when S19s were $17,000. Now, they're around $2,000. And so there might be people in the market to buy 5 or 10 miners. So if you're in a situation where you're buying 10 miners, I really strongly you're in a spot where you can diversify your mining portfolio. So, that there would be a mix that I would probably recommend. It changes daily. So, a situation like that, I would always recommend, hey, let's get on a call and see what works for your budget, what you're looking for, what's your short and long-term goals. But diversification is good. Something like me, if I was personally to buy 10 miners today, I've already bagged some Kadena. I have some Kadena miners. I have some Kadena mining NFTs, but I would still add some more KA3s to my portfolio. But then I was reading the comments here. Okay, yeah, I would then maybe buy five S19Ks, and then I would probably get some futures on the S21. I'd also probably look at the M60, because I can get that today, but that thing's pretty expensive. Am I saying that right? Is that the M60 that just released?
Yeah.
M60?
Watts miner. Because those can ship today. And they're pretty. They are pretty on par with the efficiency of the S21. They're pretty impressive, actually. They're very expensive, so Yeah, I don't know. I might hedge more like to a future with the S21. I think the cost per terahash is better. And then you've got options, right? With that, you can look at getting them shipped in January, March, April, and whenever you do, the price is going to go down the longer you wait. So there's a lot of fun math and speculation you can do on your own as to how you think it'll work out and what you'd like to do. Again, diversification. Maybe you get an S21 that ships in January. Maybe you get one that ships in April to better cost average your cost per terahash. Then maybe you get a few S19Ks so you can stack some Bitcoin now before the halving. The halving is very important with that too. And then I get some altcoin mine. I would, with altcoin, for me personally, I would just stick with KH3s right now, because with KDA only being at 58 cents, but it is up, they're very profitable right now. So that would be my recommendation on what I would do.
Mm.
Yeah, I'd say, just to add on to that, the S19K is definitely what I'm most interested in at the moment if I'm spending money today. I know Lux OS, I saw a tweet today, or a Twitter post, an X post, I don't know what you want to call it. And it's I don't know if it's ready yet. I don't know if their overclock firmware is ready yet, but get that S19K. It uses the same chips as the S19 XP, 134 terahash the S19K Pro uses. So I wouldn't be too surprised if you could get quite a bit more power out of that for similar efficiency. But yeah, I mean, after the halving, I think you're probably going to need the S21. If you're going to buy something new, you probably need the S21. Absolutely. Charlie, what do you think? I know you were really interested in talking and sharing your thoughts on the S21. I'd love to hear what your take is.
Okay. So I do like the S19K Pro very, very much. And actually this morning, right, when we're doing still this live stream, I'm negotiating. I'm not negotiating. I talked to the vendor like about the prices. I think they already upped the price. And my client was asking like if we could get a discount because he's buying like almost 30 units of them. Yeah. And he said, and right now I worry about the more cost because the Bitcoin. Let's see, how much is it? 36,300. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It remains the most affordable choice and scientific answer to Bitcoin mining right now. S19J Pro is not is not a sweet option anymore. Yeah. But we don't know what's gonna happen after the halving. In the past 1 week, I've been working around this one order for S21 for two clients. We want to pull together an order for 105 pieces, or maybe 50 in the beginning, but we want to get the price as the same as 105 miners. Yeah.
Yeah.
It turns out that we only got 30 units going because the other client was taking a lot of time, and the distributor that we spoke with seems to have the latest batch coming out from Bitmain. It's going to be shipped in December.
Right.
So I personally added like 6 units to the order, so it should be a good deal because the vendor already regretted the price. He said they want to increase the price to $19 per terahash immediately after that. He said that
for the 21 or the S19?
S21. So the price we got, of course, is better than the $19 per terahash. But let's see. I do hope that they are being honest. Like they will get the first batch. Like they said, they didn't pull the order with anybody else.
Mhm.
They ordered the miners by themselves, right? In the WDMS Hong Kong, which you've been to.
That's
Yeah,
right.
so
That's right.
I personally pulled the trigger for 6 miners. First of all, because I'm not rich enough to buy more. And then I think maybe this miner was the staying. Will survive the halving. after the halving, the profit would be 50% less. But all the others, what about the other little Timmy miners?
Right.
uh,
I,
yeah.
I think it's going to be a rough halving, Charlie. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen to the hash rate, but I think it's going to be a rough one. A lot of old hardware is going to be, done for good. I know of this individual who just got 200 S17s hosted. He's paying like 8 cents per kilowatt hour. So he's not even profitable now. Like, I don't know what his plan is when the halving occurs. I genuinely don't know. So we'll see. And then something else you mentioned, Charlie, you mentioned the next the next batch of the S19Ks is going to be set for saying I got middle of December here from one of our vendors. They're sold out of the 115. They still have the 120 in stock, but now it's got me wondering, Charlie, and I thought about this earlier today actually too, is if the in-stock S19K Pros might be running out. So if you want S19K Pro, you gotta have to go quick, maybe, because the 120s might be out of stock as well. I don't know, Charlie, are you seeing anything on your end that the current stocks are running low?
1 week or 2 weeks ago, it was running very, very low. Yeah. But we just recently had a new shipment. Yeah. So I don't know how long this will last, but at least the price is higher. This is no doubt. Yeah.
Yeah. What about the T20? I know we're at time here, Charlie. But
T21, right?
Yeah. What do you think about the T21? That kind of came out of nowhere. I don't know what to think about that.
Oh, it seems they used to launch the T19 as well. It's like they like to create a castrated version of some advanced model. Yeah, they did it many times. Yeah, and they're taking new orders. Yeah, they're taking new orders. I talked to the big salesperson. He said, "Oh, MOQ like 6,000 machines." Yeah,
Classic.
I don't know. Just see what you can get. Yeah. Both are good. That's what do you think? Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like it's the same miner basically.
Consumes more power, right? Slightly more power.
A little more power, a little less hash rate. I don't understand. I don't understand what they're doing, but
yeah,
they know what they're doing. I'm sure it's Bitmain. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, they definitely do. Sorry, on topic, but what do you think? A little bit off topic, but what do you think about the names? How they name the miners? Do you think they come up with pretty good names? We always joke around like it's like, yeah, they work hard to find the worst name you could think of for a miner. S19K Pro, S19 Plus.
What's bad about that?
I don't know. What about like, I don't know, flamethrower or something like that? Flamethrower 2.0 or I don't know.
Oh,
I probably can't come up with a good name either.
Like very strange model names like K Pro, plus
minus.
It sounds very stupid to me. Well, that's from What's Miner. Yeah.
Yeah.
And every time your mouse will look like blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Plus. Yeah.
MC squared. Like, yeah. Anyway, sorry. I just thought about that.
Well, but it doesn't matter. People will still like the miners. Yeah, it doesn't matter the name. Yeah.
Give us some good hash rate, some good efficiency. We'll take it. They call it whatever you want.
Yeah. Some people they say that you create a good product, you have to create a good name, but I think it's not always the truth. Yeah, people will remember a good product, whatever the name is. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
The Bitmain, but the Endminer is a lovely name. Is a good name. Yeah. Endminer.
Yeah, the brand name's great, and the it's wonderful.
Yeah, S21, the name, I think I don't know what they mean. Maybe they mean it's a tremendous upgrade from S19 to S21. There's they skip the S20. Yeah.
I think they developed it back in 21. 2020 was an off year for development in China. So there was no 2020 development.
Oh, that's a good answer. But
No, it's just, yeah, completely made up.
Oh man, got some good comments, some good miner names coming in.
What's this flamethrower?
That's a new
I
miner.
didn't understand the term. I didn't understand the term when.
I didn't know. I thought of it because Elon Musk didn't. He made a flamethrower and sold it. You could buy it, like from some store. That's why I thought of it. Elon Musk. He made a literal. I mean, I guess it wasn't like a military flamethrower, but I understand it was an actual flamethrower. You could buy them for like $600. They sold out instantly. I think it's just playing around with. Now, if they could sell something like a flamethrower, so that's why I thought of the name. You could do a flamethrower. You could do no. You know what? I don't know what the censorship. I don't want to get your channel banned. I'm gonna stop. I'm just gonna stop. I've got some interesting names, but I don't want to say them on the live, and then we get you kicked off YouTube, Charlie Lynn. I can't have that happen. So
don't worry.
But there's a certain type of rocket I think you could call it. There's a certain type of rocket you could call a miner.
I like the Flamethrower 9000. That'll be Charlie's Bitcoin miner brand. When Charlie makes his own miner, the Lin miner.
Oh, no, I just want somebody else to make the miner for me. That's it. Like, oh, the Bitmain launch day, Charlie Lin miner. Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I love it.
You sound very knowledgeable too. As technological, knowledgeable as Matthew. Yeah. What do you think about the immersion cooling and versus hydro cooling? Like, which one is better? Which one is more suitable for Paraguay or for Middle East, for America, or Texas, or South North Dakota? Yeah.
So one of the big barriers that we really didn't talk about with facilities is CapEx. So that's where CapEx is basically your expenses on equipment and labor and to get everything up and running. So your CapEx is going to be you've got to look at that on a per megawatt basis. And again, if you're going small scale by yourself, your CapEx amount per megawatt, however you scale that, it's going to be very high. If you're building something that's a megawatt or less, it's going to be very high. And the more megawatts you put together, especially in one location, like we're doing in Paraguay, your CapEx per megawatts gets very low. And by the way, one thing I will say about mining in Paraguay, we're really looking seriously at the U.S. We're looking at Georgia, Texas, other places. It's very hard to get more than 25 or even 50 megawatts in one location right now. It's quite difficult to do. So that, just to say, in Paraguay, 120 megawatts all in one spot, helps with the CapEx. But to get back to your question, can you repeat your question, Charlie Lynn? I'm sorry.
Like, which one is better? Like, which one?
Yeah, which one's better? Right. Okay. Yeah, I got it. So with the CapEx, there's a significant difference between dry cooled and evaporative cooling. Huge difference in your CapEx. It could be 2 to 3 times more to buy a dry cooler to cool the same amount of miners than it would be for an evaporative cooling, which is kind of like a water tower. So I like that technology, and that technology works well in drier environments. If you're trying to throw evaporative cooling into extremely humid environment, there's nothing to evaporate because there's already 100% moisture in the air or close to. So if the air is already filled with moisture, it can't take on any more moisture. So evaporative cooling, either it won't work, it won't be a very effective way to cool. But if you have an environment that is maybe 80% humidity and under, and you've got room in the environment and in the atmosphere to take on moisture, it's an incredibly efficient way to cool. And it's a lot cheaper, less copper, less expensive parts to put these units together. I mean, look, millions of years of evolution. And how do we cool our bodies down when we get hot? We sweat, right? We sweat, it evaporates, and it takes the heat away. And so, millions of years of evolution, we're doing the same kind of technology with mining. So if you're in an environment, that's why the environment's good. It's going to help with CapEx if the it can be high, but 80% or under, I think is good. And then, so with that, which one is it? Immersion? Is it hydro? I'm really into diversification. So putting together a big farm, I'd like to see both technologies in play. I like the plug and play nature of hydro, because you have companies like Bitmain that just they just make it too easy. Put together a container, it's all made, all the miners are in there, just plug and play, drop, speed. Speed is very important in this game, as Matthew talked about earlier. So for that reason, I really like hydro. There's a lot of mechanical points to fail on hydro, though. There's a lot. If you haven't seen it, just look up, Bitmain Antminer X19XP hydro container. Find a YouTube video on a tour. I think you have maybe something, Charlie, then on your channel. I don't remember, but it's so many mechanical parts that can and will eventually fail, given enough time. So for that reason, I kind of like immersion a little bit better, because there's really very few mechanical parts. The miner gets fully dunked into a tank. The tank gets filled with dielectric fluid. The dielectric fluid gets pumped out through like one line, the hot line out, gets cooled off, cool line back into the tank, and you're good. Whereas again, hydro, you can look up the pictures, but there's multiple hoses on each miner. So if you look at a container of 300 miners, and then I just can't think off the top of my head how many hoses each miner has, but it's maybe 4. So you've got 1,200 potential points for a water leak. So that's the only thing I don't like about hydro.
I see. So what will you be getting for Kadena Mining Club or your operation in Paraguay? Immersion or hydro?
I'd like to see both. It's a big farm, so I'd like to see both technologies. For sure, we're going to be doing immersion, and I can't imagine that we won't be doing hydro. And it'll really be up to our customers, right? So we've got something like hydro. I think that's a good fit for one client that has 1 megawatt, because it's a container plug and play situation. So that would be for a bigger client, somebody that they want to do hydro and they see value in hydro. Then we'll work with them and we'll put together, a hydro container or several. Immersion would be more for somebody who's doing less than a megawatt, somebody that wants to purchase, 100 miners, 30 miners, 20 miners, 10 miners. Then it'll be a shared, where we can put those in a tank. So, we'll have several megawatts, probably somewhere in the 10 or more percentage wise of immersion cooling. And, right now we're ready to launch a pretty decent size immersion operation. We're partnering with Coastal Crypto, which I think is on the call with us right now. And we are, we're really close to deploying that. It's with fog hashing. If anyone was at Cypherpunk conference, you would have seen the fog hashing unit live up and running. And it's a really good unit. We like fog hashing, so we're building out. How many miners altogether, Matthew, for the immersion?
To start, 340 to start with, but we'll be doing more. We'll be doing more with Coastal Crypto and fog hashing.
340?
Yeah, we're starting with 340. That's right. That's right, Charlie Lynn.
Units of miners or what?
What was that? I'm sorry.
330 units of miners? What?
Yeah,
Hash?
340 miners. That's right. Yeah.
Wow. You're doing big project with Coastal Crypto.
It's gonna be we're gonna break the record, I think, for biggest Kadena mining farm in the world again with this
Oh,
next one. So now we're gonna have the two biggest, unless Bitmain is hiding something we don't know about.
wow. Sometimes do a big project with me too.
Yeah, Charlie. Look, Charlie, we need to have a discussion after this call, but maybe not tonight because it's like
No problem. No
11:15
problem.
here. But tomorrow, Friday, I'd love to grab you and have a quick call. I have something exciting I'd like to share, Charlie. Something really exciting I'd like to share with you. We could work
Awesome.
together.
Mm. Okay. I think we pretty much covered all the important topics, right? Yeah.
I think so, Charlie. I think so. This
Yeah.
has been a lot of fun.
Yes. Yes. What about you, Daniel?
Yeah, it's been a great call. Again, thanks for suggesting this, Charlie Lynn. Thanks for having us on. It's been a real honor. I have a lot of respect for you, your channel, and what you do in the crypto space. It's always been a pleasure to catch up with you in person at the conferences. And if you ever come to a conference, come meet Charlie Lynn. He's just such a great guy. So yeah, I really enjoyed doing this podcast together, and I think it's been a good one. Any final comments from anyone? Anything else we missed? Let us know in the comments. Otherwise, I think we can wrap it up.
Mm. Yeah. If we have any more questions for Kadena Mining Club, Matthew or Daniel, you can type it in the comment section. Yeah. 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 Yeah, it's my honor to have you here. Yeah, check your Twitter account. You have so many followers, and Matthew forwarded shared the post across your account. And I got some more followers on Twitter.
Let's go.
Yeah. So it's great honor to have you as well. I think you brought here a lot of education for me and for the viewers as well. I think I learned a lot from both of you guys. Yeah. In the beginning, I thought it's only Matthew, but Daniel, you're also you're also a professor.
I don't know about that, man. I think I like that professor title goes to Matthew. It's very well fitting.
Good.
I've been racking up the titles lately, haven't I? But Charlie, this has been an absolute pleasure, man. I can't wait to meet you at the next. Hey, real quick, I saw today, Bitmain, they announced, they always do these so late. I don't know if you saw the announcement, Charlie. They have an event in Sydney, Australia.
Oh, yes.
Is it the 14th of November?
Charlie, you want to go?
That's closer to you than it is to us, Charlie. So I'm asking if you're going. I can't get over to Australia next week, but maybe you could.
Oh, I cannot go there. Yeah, I need to check the visa, but I probably won't be going. Yeah, Australia is so small. Yeah, but for sightseeing, I think it would be a great place. Will you go?
Yeah, I'd love to go to Australia. But...
Man, more time. I would have loved to go on. I didn't know about that one. That's my homeland right there, down under. Not Australia, but New Zealand. That's where I grew up. Yeah.
Really?
Been to Sydney many times. Sydney's such a great city. There's so many things to see and do. They've got these giant fruit bats there. I don't know if you know about the fruit bats, but they're about the size of a small dog, and they're just flying in the skies of Sydney. And they'll be they'll behave in some ways like moths. They'll circle around like a light during the night. What's that circling up there? It's these massive dogs that are just flying. They're like fruit bats. They might be I don't know. They're incredible.
Massive dogs.
You have to
Yeah.
you have to look that up, you guys. You have to search that on the internet.
I will.
I just looked
Oh,
it up, and I wish that I didn't. But
oh, I remember that you told me that you are sort of from New Zealand.
Yeah.
Like you moved to US like at what age? Or not?
20, 20, 24, 23.
Yeah, not long ago, right?
No, 23.
Whoa.
It's long ago for
When
me,
you were
man. I'm an
when
old
you were
man.
23. When you were 23, I thought you said, oh, 2023. Oh my God.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah, when you were
20 years ago. Yeah.
Professor.
Pretty soon I'll have spent more time here in the US than New Zealand. Pretty soon here.
Mm.
Yeah, well-
Okay. I would look it up, like the visa for Australia or anything like that. Yeah. But it's a bear market, you know. It's so expensive to travel.
yeah, that's
All
what we
right.
got in Paraguay, where we have $6 steak.
Look, yeah, just to end it on that, I have to mention, I really wanted to mention, like, if you enjoy a vegan diet or like a vegetarian diet, I'm sure there's parts of Paraguay that's for you. But if you enjoy like a carnivore diet, or you love steak, chicken, pork, it's unbelievable. Like I got back here and I found myself like struggling what to find for lunch. I'm like, where's the porterhouse steaks? Like, where's the $10 filet mignons? Like, so it's really, it's all like local, free range, clean meat. It's the beef was spectacular, and the service in the restaurants. And we were talking. It's a distant goal, but we'd really love to put together a Paraguay trip, because it's just a great country to see. I would love to other people to experience that, come and experience the culture, the beautiful people, the food, the dam, the sights, just all the amazing things that Paraguay has to offer. So stay tuned for that one. That'll be really fun to put together.
It should be cheap there, right? Shouldn't be?
Yeah, it's I mean, like over here, I got wings on the weekend with, just some wings and beer. It's $250 for the four of us, for a few chicken wings and beer, and I was appalled at how much it was. Over there, I mean, yeah, you could get steak lunch, filet mignon, or like, rib house. I don't know what they call the cuts in China, Charlie Lynn, but very, very good quality steak. At a top restaurant, we went for lunch. It's like $10. So get
$10.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I came back to the U.S. I went to go buy a steak. It was $35 at the grocery store. It would have been $7 in Paraguay. So I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah, since the pandemic, since 2020, food cost has actually doubled here.
I like steak a lot. I ate a lot of steak in America. Yeah.
Oh, we got to get you to Paraguay. Like, I'm serious, dude. Well, yeah, we got to get you there. I feel like it's cheaper to eat steak than other stuff there. It's like so cheap.
Mm.
You could probably fly to Paraguay,
To eat the steak.
a number of steaks,
And come back to China
fly
for.
back, and it'll be cheaper than eating the equivalent steak here in the U.S.
Yeah.
It's probably
Yeah.
7 steaks or something.
Yeah, you'd probably have a break-even point of just, because you would eat it every day, for sure. You would eat everyday steak. In fact, we would be eating it twice a day. You just got to get that steak in.
The ROI.
Yeah, you're gonna ROI pretty quickly. We gotta come up with some charts, not financial advice, but you come to Paraguay, you eat the steaks, you're looking at about probably like a 14-day ROI. No energy cost on that exercise.
Steak. Eating steak for money is good because it means bullish.
It's steak for crypto. We're changing the world one steak at a time.
Steak for bullish. Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you
I'd say
say?
that's a fun place to end, Charlie, right?
Mm. Okay, so maybe we pretty much cover everything, right? Steak.
That's it, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So Charlie, thanks again. This was a great stream. Thank you everybody for listening. Thank you, Daniel, for coming on here as well. Just really quickly
Thank
to
you. I
wrap it
don't
up.
know why. Yeah, I don't know why I
Charlie disappeared.
dashed out. Oh, come here.
Charlie's
The
back.
police, the police knocked and that disappeared.
Yeah, just to wrap it up, guys. If you're interested in Kadena Mining Club, head over to our Twitter page, our X page at Kadena Mining Club to learn about our fractionalized KA3 NFTs. If you're interested in being a part of our big Paraguay journey, head over to cryptominerhub.com. Crypto with the C, cryptominerhub.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the page. There's a contact form. Fill that contact form out. We'll get back to you very quickly with more information on that Paraguay project. But Charlie, it's been a pleasure, and I'm going to send you an email here in a moment. I'd love to get together with you again and talk to you a little bit more about what we have going on behind the scenes, Charlie.
Perfect. It's been a pleasure interacting with you guys. And you can send me these links that I can put it to the pin comment. Yeah. And I will write it in the description so people can find about you easily. Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome, Charlie. Will do. Thank you very much. It was a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
And my pleasure. And Daniel has a YouTube channel as well. Yeah. Yes. And I will list your channel there as well. Any channel you have, we will list it there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
All right. Well, good night, all.
Yeah. Good night. Oh, for me, good day. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Yeah.
See you
Have a good day,
soon.
Charlie.
Thank you.
Good night,
Thank you.
everyone.
Have a good one. Thank you.